Light without too much problem, because Light's still working off those 3 factories. Very nice comsat by Light actually to spot that SCV. Unfortunately did not see that dropship moving forward. A couple Goliaths there, but no counter air to really deal with this, so this 3 o'clock base is going to be pretty exposed, because basically Forgg can maneuver wherever he wants. Light's just going to have to absorb the attacks. Oh, never mind! Oh, able to take the dropship out. Big blunder on Light's part. That was wow, he was in a really good slot there, and could have accomplished a lot with that dropship, but instead just kind of losing it really carelessly. And unfortunately now, I'm not going to say that's going to give the game now into Light's favor, but yeah, Forgg, that was huge blunder. That was definitely a big key to this stage of the game for him. And now Light easily going to be able to defend that 3 o'clock. He's going to probably take the economic lead and should be able to plant down a couple more factories to kind of solidify that. And there's still that roving tank force, but with that bridge and kind of where it's at, it looks like he's going to be able to run up, get a couple free hits, able to take out 1 tank before they're kind of counter siege, and there should be some more troops moving up here momentarily to support. Yeah, he's got that 2nd siege tank line. And once again, Forgg, I guess, remembering game 1, wanting to run up, he did manage to get that mine in to hit those tanks, which is going to soften them up. See if SCVs are going to come off the line to try to repair, but I got to say Forgg is really, in these matches thus far, with sneaking those vultures in with those singles hit, able to run in, get those mine planted. That's essentially what won him this prior matchup, and continuing to rely on that, and Light's inability to kind of keep that back. Let's see if Light just leaves 2 siege tanks unsieged behind his mage siege tank line, or at least some SCVs out to the forward position to maybe disrupt that. Now it's kind of risky playing that, but a huge amount of siege tanks now from Light coming in for a big counterattack. Actually, never mind. They're just playing a little bit defensively. Light has looks like he has a significant amount of siege tanks, getting a wraith of his own, planting down 2 more factories. I don't think Forgg is in a position where he can really plant. Well, he can economically sustain them. He could have them out, but still not running at the 12 o'clock. Just now working. So Light's got a solid economic lead. Light's got a pretty good kind of cap on his territory of the map. Another dropship out. Forgg's got to get something accomplished now. I really feel like right now, otherwise he's just going to be behind in this game for the rest of this match, and he's not, it doesn't look like he's really been able to establish position anywhere. I think Light is going to get aggressive here in a second. He's got the 3, wow, it's going to have a pretty sizable siege tank advantage, basically 1 factory up for quite a bit of time. A little bit of a drop right there, so that Vulture able to see that dropship as they were kind of coming out that 9 o'clock. So it looks like Light is going to get a heads up, and with that Wraith, if he can keep that Wraith mobile, maybe take it out before it lands, and in that Goliath position with those turrets, he might even be able to kind of do a counter pounce. And it looks like Forgg with a very thin spread out line, looks like that Wraith instead going to pick away at that line at that 12 o'clock, and now it's Light's turn to just kind of throw in that Vulture, throw in that mine, take out a siege tank there. 2 siege tanks off the splash with that mine. Forgg trying to maintain some sort of skeleton defense, but it's just really, you should abandon it now, because yeah, he is losing troops, expending them, getting a drop but not accomplishing anything. Taking some damage on his dropship. Thought he might lose it. Looks like that Goliath was out of position. Otherwise, I think that would have been going down. But yeah, Forgg doesn't have anything to defend now. He's just invested too much in that defense, really overextended himself, and yeah, going to end up, oh no, not losing that dropship to that Wraith. The Wraith decided to stop for some reason, maybe on attack move. But Forgg, he can't defend anything he's got, and if Light, this is one of the problems I've had with Light, is this is an opportunity where yes, he's economically ahead, he can sit back and he can win the game, but I would prefer if he moved forward and just finished it right now. I think the difference actually is the dropships as well, is he's been at several factories just producing a ton of siege tanks. Forgg's been trying to get a dropship force out to maintain the air advantage, and that's kind of delayed his expansions, delayed his productions otherwise, and as a result he's really outnumbered on the ground. So as long as the base defenses remain somewhat intact to deal with a couple of dropships, Light should be able to move in and just take everything out. And oh yes, he is being aggressive. Okay, moving forward, SCV's coming off the line to, looks like they are going to be able to hero SCV, taking out a siege tank and surviving somehow. Moving out to try to put pressure on that 9 o'clock. A single dropship out in the field, so Forgg at least does have the air advantage, but he's way behind in production. That's several factories out. Looks like you got the 6 factories versus basically 7 with the kind of in the corner, and I feel like Forgg, even though he has those siege tanks to the north, Light has a much more mobile army, and able to sneak in with a drop of his own with a couple of vultures, able to get a couple SCVs here and there, and a siege tank. Looks like that's going to be cleaned up momentarily, but I gotta say, pretty big victory there. Might end up losing his dropship. Yeah, it does lose that dropship, and it looks like careful. 3 siege tanks almost dropping right on top of some mines. A little bit lucky there, I got to say, on Forg's part that those mines didn't blow up his entire army right there. But now those 3 dropships a little bit out of position. He's once again, he looks like he is going to be able to take that 9 o'clock. Light actually a little bit behind. He wasn't able to capitalize, and he's actually just going to try to move out with just flat turrets and tanks, it looks like, rather than relying on dropships, which isn't going to fly now at this stage. More vultures able to sneak into that 12 o'clock, so what I said earlier about vulture placement and tanks, completely ignored apparently. Forgg, all he really needs to do is have 2 tanks there to the north, but just dedicating all of his forces otherwise. A drop, bottom left-hand corner, and that's going to stop that command center from going up. Also going to be able to take out a lot of turrets, so Forgg capitalizing on that, but specifically this is mobile defenses he's not having out in the field, and that's why that 12 o'clock was open. That's why that 12 o'clock is completely empty. You just didn't have the troops there to defend as a result. Now he's essentially running 3 bases versus 2. 12 and pure, and he was behind on that 3rd base as it was. I think he is trying to get that 9 o'clock base running, but lost a lot of SCVs. Still has those 3 siege tanks just sitting there, and also getting greedy, trying to take another base, the upper right, and is going to end up actually losing that to a vulture, it looks like. A couple troops moving in that direction as well, and Forgg wasn't able to inflict enough damage to get anything accomplished that bottom left-hand corner. Critically though, for Light does not have any mobility right now. He doesn't have the dropships. He doesn't have the counter. Oh, take it back. There they are on screen. I was kind of wondering where they're at, but I think with that, he's actually going to end up ahead. I think that's all he needed, is that gap. The main, I think, is completely undefended, even with the counter dropship force. I think Light has superior upgrades, even if he managed to go engage with the counter dropship force. I think there's plenty of troops that would be able to come and take this back out, and it looks like that 12 o'clock base is completely abandoned. See, Forgg goes in for a counterattack, which would be a huge mistake, because I think all the outward bases are mostly defended. Couple Wraith, oh nice! Able to engage midpoint, and they're going to be able to take out some more dropships to once again keep Light out of the air game, but was it worth it? Going to end up losing that 12 o'clock, falling even farther economically behind. Yeah, the mobility's down, but still, that could have been more dropships in theory, not that he'd been able to produce troops. But yeah, he just knows he's too far economically behind. He's going to call GG right there. And Light takes it. Light advances. And I got to say, very worthy of that win. Interesting play altogether. But yeah, wow. Very nice play. Light just dominating that one macro-wise. Played that really, really well. Forgg just lagging behind. And I got to say, actually, when Forgg went through the qualifiers, Forgg's prior games to this, he just didn't look that sharp. Actually, I think was he seeded? I think he went to qualifiers. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try to do MSL E tomorrow and B Wednesday. So look forward to it. Going to continue with the live casts. Twitter.com, keep an eye there, or in any of the IRC channels. Thanks for listening.